Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff. Still feeling a little under the weather. It's kind of, I got my coffee, and I am ready to take on some questions. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section, or go on over to my Ask FM account thing, and we will get you squared away. First question, ever thought about fixing up that old Ibanez you had, or did you get rid of it? When I was a young person gigging all the time in my punk band, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I had two guitars. I had my stickered 94 Fender Strat, and then my backup guitar, in case I broke a string, was what turned out to be a very, very rare 1988 Ibanez RG140. And what's unique about it is they were really only made for 1 year, and it basically has an S body, but it's flat like a Strat. It's not all carved and rounded like the S bodies or the Joe Satriani bodies or something like that. They're very squared off. And it was only made for 1 year, and my particular guitar was found in a pawn shop, and I'd contacted Ibanez over a decade ago with the serial number, and because my guitar in the catalog never came with the two humbucker configuration officially. It came with two singles and a humbucker with a volume and a tone. My guitar has two humbuckers and a single volume, and that's it. And I always thought that was really weird, and I contacted Ibanez many years ago via email, and they said from what best they could tell, it might have been something for like a NAMM piece or something like that, which is not too far-fetched because, you know, I'm a 2-hour flight away from California, so maybe it's some weird one-off, but it's an 88 RG140. It's stickered, it's beat. The electronics, the pickups died a long time ago. I think one of the bridge saddles has been replaced, and it's really in rough shape. I should fix it up though. It has so much sentimental value for me. I should probably fix it up. My only issue with that, the reason why I put it off is because underneath on the cavity, there's a huge crack on the body where the pot goes through because it's very thin on the face of the guitar where the route is. And at that time, it had fallen off a stage and gone face down onto the floor and pushing the volume in. I had used hot glue to fix it. And it's been like that ever since, so I don't know, I should probably get it fixed and document the whole thing. Maybe I could send it to Ibanez. I know a guy at Ibanez, so I don't know, maybe this is a good project. Thanks for asking. What are some good locking tuners for Fender basses? You know what? The only locking tuners for bass I have ever seen were Spurzl locking tuners. And those have been around for a few decades, but beyond that, I can't say I have ever seen a locking bass tuner. And I don't know really what the need would be, since if you're wrapping correctly, the tuning stability on strings that size are pretty good. That's maybe why, that's just a guess, maybe why there's not a lot of locking tuners for bass. But I am unaware of Hipshot or Godo or Grover or anyone else making locking bass tuners. Maybe you guys know better than me, but Spurzl is the only option I know of right off the top of my head. So try Spurzl. Thoughts on Gibson going back to basics with their core line? So I actually met with Gibson at NAMM just a few weeks ago, and they get it. They know where they're at in the guitar community, and they know they have a lot to prove, and they also know that the previous administration went astray for many years, and they have a lot of rebuilding to do, and they're prepared to do all that work to make all the instruments right. And I love the fact that they've gone back to basics with their core models. Their line basically mirrors what it was in the 60s, right? So you have a Les Paul Standard, and it's basically what was the old traditional. It's now the Les Paul Standard. They have the SG, they have a Firebird, and they've gotten rid of model years, right? So there's no 2018 and there's no 2019 Gibson standards or whatever. There's just a Les Paul, and they make a Les Paul, and it doesn't change every single year. They're just gonna make the good stuff, and they're just gonna make it as good as possible. That's where they're at as a company. I found that really refreshing, and I found that the self-awareness is really healthy. So I think going back to basics is exactly what Gibson need, and talking to all the heads of Gibson, it's being run by the right people, and they're gonna be sick, and they're gonna be back in really good shape in no time. Your home recording on a budget video is years old. Maybe it's time for a revisit? You know, when I made that video about, I think it's been what, 4 or 5 years now, I was just making it again like I made all my early stuff. Like I just was not self-aware, and I would have done a few things a little differently. So it might be time to revisit home recording on a budget. And I think a lot of things have changed and a lot of things have come out, and prices are definitely cheaper than it was 5 years ago. So yeah, I think maybe it is time for a revisit. What do you guys think?
And now, Fluff reads a tweet.
Some of you have never had to use Microsoft Internet Explorer, and it shows. My suggestion to you this week is to check out the new Bring Me the Horizon album, Ammo. Bring Me the Horizon is always so far ahead of the curve, and you know what? They have proven so with Ammo. There's a lot of pop hits, there's a lot of Maroon 5-esque stuff, and there's a lot of brutal guitar riffs as well. They're diversifying, they're maturing, and I absolutely love what they are doing. And and as of this filming, their first #1 charting album, and congrats to them. That's so amazing. Listen to it with an open mind, and you will be rewarded greatly. All applicable links down below in the description. You have been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.